Think of 3 reasons why you are in favor of processed foods. Go on. I'm waiting. I can probably guess what you're thinking. You're probably thinking that processed foods are cheaper and that limiting processed food production would limit your choices. You might also be thinking that limiting the production of processed foods will also limit the amount of jobs in the business. As a consumer like yourself, I understand all of these concerns. However, if the government only limits processed food production in how the companies present their products, but not reduce the amount they produce, the amount of jobs won't really be impacted, the variety will still be there, and we can save money on medical bills if we eat better, which will be cheaper in the long run. My name is Megan, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of limiting the production of processed foods and what you and the government can do for the health of humans and the environments. Let's move on to talking about your health, physical and mental. Dietary phosphorus occurs naturally in foods such as dairy products and animal meats, but the Institute of Medicine recommends a daily dietary allowance of 700 milligrams per day. The average American consumes over double that number or allowance every day. According to Betty Wedman, St. Louis, phosphorus is continually or increasingly being added to processed foods by way of additives or as a stabilizer, leaving agent, or acidifier. Currently, phosphorus is not required to be listed on labels, making it very difficult to know how much of it is added or consumed. High levels of phosphorus are now considered an independent predictive factor in mortality from kidney and cardiovascular disorders. Processed foods not only affect physical health, but they also affect mental health. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, depression is the leading cause of disability in the United States for people aged 15 to 44 years and is the most common psychiatric condition worldwide, followed closely by generalized anxiety. A whole foods diet containing fruits, vegetables, and fish, or a Mediterranean-style diet, has been shown to protect against the onset of depression. A diet consisting of processed foods is linked to symptoms of depression. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that our choices as consumers should be limited. I just think that we should be able to see on the labels of the food that we are eating the associated health risks behind it. Now that I have told you about the health risks of consuming processed foods to you and your loved ones, let me talk to you about the impacts that food processing has on the environment. Let us focus on the impact of the production of processed foods on the environment. Marine debris is practically everywhere in open oceans and coastal areas. A lot of this debris consists of plastics or other packaging from processed food. According to Gall and Thompson, more than 690 species have had some interaction with marine debris, whether it be from debris ingestion or entanglement. Ingested microplastic fragments can reach and be retained in different organs, which may cause blockage of the digestive tract and death of relatively large marine animals. Processed food production also makes a huge impact on the climate. According to Food Miles and the relative climate impacts of food choices in the United States, the production of processed food represents 83% of life cycle GHG emissions. Transportation of processed foods represents another 11%. The production is just adding more and more greenhouse gases to our atmosphere, causing an increased greenhouse effect. You've heard about the impacts of the production of processed foods on the physical and mental health of humans, as well as a couple of impacts that processed foods have on the environment. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest ways that you can help. A lot of people feel helpless when it comes to the government. However, it is very simple to call or write to your local representative's office to tell them how you feel about this issue, as well as many others. Using ziplook.house.gov, you can punch in your zip code to find your representative. It will give you a link to their website with various forms of contact information. You can tell them that you would like more regulations placed on processed food production. Some of these things can include placing laws to make it required to disclose any harmful chemicals or additives, such as phosphorus, on their labeling, or requiring all of their packaging to be recyclable. Whatever you do, please get involved in however you see fit for this issue. You, your loved ones, and the environment are all counting on you and your voice. It's the logical thing to do if you feel strongly about this issue. If enough people jump on the bandwagon, we can make an impact. Coming together, please consider the environment, yourself, and your loved ones, and what you have the power to do. The future is counting on our generation. Let's